Buying a motorcycle in 2026 is a minefield. Not because bikes are bad, but because the marketing is loud and the details are quiet. Some models are overpriced, outdated, or straight up uncomfortable in real-world riding. So today we're doing something simple. We name 7 bikes you should avoid, and for every mistake, we give you a faster, smarter, better value alternative. Specs, weak spots, real costs, no brochure nonsense. Watch this before you sign anything, because one wrong choice can turn into a 5-figure regret. Mistake number 7, Suzuki GSX 250R. We begin with a bike that is trapping beginners every single day. The Suzuki GSX 250R looks incredible. It has the GSXR paint job. It has the sharp nose. It looks like a race bike. But underneath that plastic fairing, it is a lie. This machine uses a 248 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine that traces its roots back to the Suzuki and Azuma from over a decade ago. It makes a paltry 24 horsepower. In a modern world where highway traffic moves at 80 miles per hour, 24 horsepower is bordering on dangerous. It weighs nearly 400 pounds. That is remarkably heavy for a bike with the power of a lawnmower. It does 0 to 60 in roughly 9 seconds. A Toyota Prius is faster. A minivan loaded with soccer equipment will gap you at a traffic light. When you are fighting for space on the freeway, you need the power to escape danger. And the price? Suzuki still asks nearly $5,000 for this ancient technology. They are selling you a decade-old commuter bike dressed up in a MotoGP costume. It is deceptive marketing at its finest. A real rider named Slowpoke writes that he bought this because it looked cool. Within 2 months, he was bored out of his mind. He gets gapped by commercial delivery vans. It has absolutely no passing power. He tried to sell it, but nobody wants them on the used market. You can find used ones for $3,500 to $4,500. But even that is too much. You are buying a machine that you will outgrow in 3 weeks. Smart riders choose with experience, not hype. If this list respects that, show your support with a like and a subscribe. Stop looking at the Suzuki. If you want a sport bike that actually performs, you need to buy the new king of the class. Better buy number 7, Kawasaki Ninja 500. This is the bike the Suzuki wishes it was. It features a 451 cubic centimeter engine. It makes 51 horsepower. Do the math. It has more than double the horsepower of the Suzuki and weighs 370 pounds. That is 30 pounds less. It is a rocket ship by comparison. It hits highway speeds effortlessly. It has a slipper clutch and a modern chassis that actually wants to turn. The engine in the Ninja is a masterpiece of modern engineering. It is eager. It revs quickly. When you twist the throttle, it surges forward with genuine authority. It will do 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. That is sports car territory. This means you are safe on the highway. You have the power to overtake. You have the power to escape. This is the perfect first motorcycle. It is forgiving enough to learn on, but fast enough to keep you entertained for years. You can take it to a track day, ride to work, or tour on the weekends. Sarah from Texas says she upgraded from a GSX 250 to the Ninja 500, and it felt like taking off training weights. She can actually pass trucks now. It's light, fast, and the insurance is cheap. The price for a new one is $5,299. It is barely more expensive than the Suzuki, but it is twice the motorcycle. But maybe you don't want a sport bike. Maybe you want a cruiser. However, if you walk into a Honda dealership, you might make a terrible mistake. Mistake number 6, Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom is legendary for reliability, but sometimes Honda is legendary for refusing to update anything. The Shadow Phantom is a bike stuck in the year 2005. It uses a 745 cubic centimeter V-twin engine that makes roughly 44 horsepower. It uses a shaft drive, which is nice, but it features a rear drum brake. Yes, in 2026, this bike still uses a brake technology from the 1930s. A drum brake fades when it gets hot. It lacks the bite and feel of a disc. It is cheaper for Honda to manufacture, but it is less safe for you. It has a 5-speed gearbox when everyone else has moved to 6. This means that at 70 miles per hour, the engine is buzzing. It feels strained. It vibrates through the handlebars and the foot pegs, making long rides exhausting. The problem is that it is an appliance. It has zero character. It makes noise. It does exactly what it is told, but it never inspires you. And for the price, Honda asks, getting a drum brake in a 5-speed box is an insult to the consumer. You are paying for the Honda badge, but you are getting budget engineering. Bored Bob says it never breaks down, but he never wants to ride it. It scrapes pegs in every corner. The rear brake feels like stepping on a wet sponge. It's just meh. A new one costs $8,399. Used ones float between $5,000 and $7,000. That is a lot of money for a bike that feels like a tractor. If you want a middleweight cruiser, do not buy the Honda. Buy the bike that is embarrassing the Japanese giants and redefining value. Better buy number 6, Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. This machine features a 648 cubic centimeter parallel twin. It makes 47 horsepower. It is air and oil cooled, but feels completely modern. It has a 6-speed gearbox, meaning you can cruise at 80 miles per hour without the engine exploding. The 6th gear acts as an overdrive, dropping the revs and letting you glide down the highway in comfort. It has Showa upside-down forks, which are significantly better than the basic suspension on the Honda. These forks provide feedback. They keep the front wheel planted when you hit a bump mid-corner. It has disc brakes front and rear with ABS standard. The braking is confident and strong. The fit and finish is real metal, not plastic covers. The fenders are steel. The tank badges are heavy chrome. It feels substantial. It feels like a big bike. It is physically larger than the Shadow. The seat is wide and touring ready. The suspension is firm but controlled. It cruises beautifully. This is for the classic cruiser fan. It looks like a vintage Harley but runs with modern precision. It is perfect for Sunday rides and weekend trips. The engine has a beautiful 27-degree firing order burble that sounds fantastic with aftermarket pipes. Enfield Eric writes that he sold his Shadow for this. The build quality on the Enfield is superior. Chrome switches, metal fenders, LED headlight. It feels like a $10,000 bike, but he paid $7,000. A brand new one lists for $6,999. It is significantly cheaper than the Honda and feels twice as premium. Royal Enfield is hungry for your business, and they are building better bikes to get it. Now we move from the slow lane to the fast lane. But be careful, because the next bike on our list is a torture rack that people keep buying by mistake. Mistake number 5, Yamaha R7. The Yamaha R7 is a massive sales hit, but for the average street rider, it is a big mistake. This bike uses the beloved 689 cubic centimeter parallel twin CP2 engine. It makes 73 horsepower. The engine is fantastic. It has torque, it sounds great, and it is reliable. But the chassis is purely track-focused. It has super sport geometry that punishes you for riding on the street. But on the street, it is miserable. Your wrists scream after 20 minutes. Your lower back aches from being hunched over. In traffic, when you are going slow, the weight on your hands becomes unbearable. You cannot look around easily because your head is down. It is a miserable commuter. It is a track bike disguised as a street bike. If you do track days, buy it. If you ride to work or carve canyons on the weekend, you will hate the riding position. It is too aggressive for the engine performance. You are suffering like a Moto GP rider, but only going 70 miles per hour. You look cool, but you are in pain. A rider named Sore Wrists says he loves the way it looks but hates riding it. He did a 2-hour ride and couldn't walk straight the next day. It's too focused. He misses his old FZ07, which had the same engine but was comfortable. A new one costs $9,199. That is a lot of money to pay for discomfort. If you are thinking about buying a sport bike this year, listen closely. You don't have to suffer to go fast. Hit that subscribe button if you want honest reviews that care about your comfort, not just lap times. If you want a middleweight sport bike that you can actually live with, you buy a bike you can ride for 6 hours without needing a chiropractor. Better buy number 5, Suzuki GSX8R. This bike features a 776 cubic centimeter parallel twin. It makes 83 horsepower. It has 10 more horsepower than the Yamaha, but more importantly, it has way more torque. The engine uses a clever cross-balancer system that kills vibration, making it incredibly smooth. It comes with a bi-directional quick-shifter standard, something Yamaha charges extra for. This allows you to shift up and down without using the clutch, making acceleration seamless and fun. It has a full-color TFT dash, while the Yamaha is still using a basic screen. The Suzuki has ride modes, traction control settings, and better connectivity. It strikes the perfect ergonomic balance. The bars are raised slightly. The pegs are lower. You are in a sporty tuck, but you aren't doing a handstand. You can ride this bike for 6 hours without needing a chiropractor. It has wind protection, but it's comfortable. This is the real-world sport bike. It destroys the R7 in a straight line, keeps up in the corners, and gets you home in comfort. You can actually use it to commute. You can put saddlebags on it and go for a trip. It is versatile. Now let's talk about adventure. The market is flooded with small adventure bikes, but one of the most popular models is starting to show some serious cracks in its armor. Mistake number 4, KTM 390 Adventure. The KTM 390 Adventure was the king of small ADVs, but in 2026 it is showing its age, and it has some fatal flaws that you need to know about. It uses a 373 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine, making 44 horsepower. It is light and fast, and it has great electronics, but it is tall. The seat height scares off new riders. It feels top-heavy when the tank is full, and it vibrates. This is the curse of the single-cylinder engine. At highway speeds, the piston is moving up and down so fast that the handlebars buzz. After 30 minutes, your hands go numb. It is called white finger, and it is annoying. The mirrors blur so much at 60 miles per hour that you cannot tell if the car behind you is a cop or a taxi. The reach to the ground is difficult for anyone under 5'10". The foot pegs are slanted forward strangely, making standing up off-road feel awkward without aftermarket parts. You feel like you are leaning over the handlebars waiting to crash. Reliability is also a gamble. KTM stands for Keep Throwing Money according to some owners. Head gasket issues and electronic gremlins are common, but there is a new player in town, a bike that sounds better, rides smoother, and costs significantly less. We are about to reveal the bike that killed the KTM. Better buy number 4, CF Moto 450 MT. The CF Moto 450 MT is the bike that broke the internet. Ignore the brand snobs. This thing is the real deal. It features a 449 cubic centimeter parallel twin. It makes 44 horsepower, same as the KTM. But because it's a twin with a 270 crank, it is smooth. It has a firing order that mimics a V-twin. It sounds like a rally bike. It doesn't buzz, it rumbles. It has adjustable KYB suspension with massive travel. This suspension is plush. It floats over washboards and rocks. It has tubeless cross-spoke wheels, a premium feature KTM doesn't have at this price point. Tubeless wheels mean if you get a flat tire, you can plug it in 5 minutes. With the KTM's cast wheels, a bent rim means your trip is over. It sits lower than the KTM, making it accessible to more riders. The standing position is perfect. The tank is shaped to let your knees grip the bike. The screen is adjustable on the fly with one hand. It feels like a mini Yamaha Tenere 700. This is the adventure seeker's bargain. It is capable of serious off-road riding, but smooth enough to ride 2 hours on the highway to get to the trails. Adventure Al writes that he sold his KTM for this. The engine character is so much better. The suspension eats rocks, and it was $2,000 cheaper. CF Moto knocked it out of the park. A new one costs $6,499. It is cheaper, smoother, and better equipped. The Chinese manufacturers are catching up fast, and CF Moto is leading the charge. What's the worst bike you ever bought? Let us know in the comments. Leaving the dirt, we head to the boulevard. American muscle is back in style, but Harley-Davidson made a bike that is confusing everyone. Mistake number 3, Harley-Davidson Sportster S. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S looks incredible. It goes like a missile. But as a motorcycle to actually ride, it is a failure of epic proportions. It uses the 1250 cubic centimeter revolution max engine making 120 horsepower. Fast? Yes. It will embarrass sport bikes at a stoplight. But the rear suspension has 2 inches of travel. 2 inches. That is practically a rigid frame. If you hit a pebble, your spine compresses. If you hit a pothole, you are launched out of the seat. The suspension cannot cope with the speed the engine provides. It is a mismatch of epic proportions. It has forward controls, pushing your feet way out, but the bars are low and flat. You are folded into a clamshell shape. Your back is curved, your legs are stretched, and your arms are reaching. It is excruciating after 30 minutes. It puts all the pressure on your tailbone. And the gas tank holds 3 gallons. You are stopping for gas every 80 miles. Range anxiety will ruin every group ride you go on. Your friends will hate you because you have to stop twice as often as they do. It is a bar hopper priced like a premium tourer. It is form over function in the worst way. You pay $16,000 to be uncomfortable and stop at every gas station. A new one is $16,999. That is simply too much money for a bike that hurts you. But do not despair, American V-twin lovers. There is a bike that took the Sportster S concept and actually made it rideable. Better by number 3, Indian Scout 101. The Indian Scout 101 saw the Sportster S and said, "Hold my beer." For 2025, they released the new Scout 101, and it fixes everything. It uses a 1,250 cubic centimeter V-twin, making 111 horsepower. It is nearly as fast as the Harley, but it has real suspension. It has inverted adjustable forks and piggyback rear shocks that actually absorb bumps. You can tune the suspension to your weight. It handles corners without grinding parts off. It has dual Brembo brakes. It stops on a dime. The Harley only has a single disc up front, which is terrifying given the power. The Indian stops as well as it goes. Ian writes that he test rode both. The Sportster S felt like a toy. The Scout 101 feels like a machine. The brakes are incredible. The finish is better. Indian won this round. A new one costs $16,999. Same price, infinitely better motorcycle. Indian is listening to riders who want performance without pain. So do you agree with this list? Let us know in the comments. Now we enter the domain of the giants. BMW tried to out Harley, and they failed spectacularly. Mistake number 2, BMW R18. The BMW R18 is a work of art. The engine is massive. It is the biggest boxer engine BMW has ever built. It looks like it belongs in a museum, but it is arguably the worst riding motorcycle BMW has ever made. It features an 1,800 cubic centimeter boxer twin, making 90 horsepower. The engine is so wide that you cannot put your feet in a comfortable position. The massive cylinders block your legs. On a Harley or Indian, you can stretch your legs out on highway pegs. On the BMW, the cylinders are in the way. You are forced to ride with your feet cramped in a strange mid-control position that feels unnatural for a cruiser. It is jewelry. It is meant to be looked at, not ridden. Depreciation is catastrophic. You can buy a used one for half of the new price because owners realize they made a mistake within a month. The market is flooded with low-mileage R18s. Regretful Rob says he bought it for the looks. But his shins hit the cylinders. It has no cornering clearance. He scrapes everything. It's miserable to ride for more than an hour. A new one starts over $18,000, but used ones are sitting for $9,000 because nobody wants them. It is a beautiful mistake. We have cleared the pretenders. Now we enter the domain of the power kings. If you want torque that can reverse the rotation of the earth, stay tuned for the ultimate alternative. Better by number 2, Triumph Rocket 3. If you want a massive engine, buy the king. The Triumph Rocket 3. This bike has a 2,500 cubic centimeter engine. It is the largest production motorcycle engine in the world. It makes 165 horsepower and 163 foot-pounds of torque. It accelerates 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. It humiliates sport bikes. It pulls so hard it feels like your arms are being pulled out of their sockets. Despite the size it handles, it has a massive aluminum frame that uses the engine as a stressed member. It has high-end Showa suspension that is fully adjustable. It brakes with massive Brembo stylomer calipers, the same brakes found on a Ducati Panigale. The riding position is adjustable because the pegs move. The seat is comfortable. It feels surprisingly light once moving. The center of gravity is low. You can hustle this bike through corners and surprise people on sport bikes. This is the ultimate muscle bike. It is smoother, faster, better handling, and more comfortable than the BMW. It is engineering dominance. It doesn't shake, it hums with menace. Rocket Man writes that the torque is addictive. You can be in any gear, twist the throttle, and teleport. It handles corners better than his old Harley. It's in a league of its own. A new one costs $23,000. It is expensive, but it holds its value because it is a legend. When you pull up on a Rocket 3, you own the parking lot. Finally, we come to the stylish world of scramblers. But one Italian icon has lost its way. Mistake number 1. Ducati Scrambler Icon. The Ducati Scrambler Icon used to be the cheap Ducati, but prices have crept up, and the value just isn't there anymore. It uses an 803 cubic centimeter L-twin, making 73 horsepower. It is air-cooled. This is the biggest problem. It gets hot. In traffic, the rear cylinder sits right between your legs. It roasts your thighs. In the summer, it is unbearable. You arrive at your destination sweating and uncomfortable. The Desmo service intervals are expensive, coming every 7,500 miles. You have to pay a mechanic hundreds of dollars to check the valves constantly. The electronics are basic. The dashboard is small and hard to read in the sun. The handlebars are very wide and high. At highway speeds, you catch all the wind like a sail. It tires you out. The seat is flat and pushes you forward into the tank. It feels toy-like. You are paying the Ducati tax for a basic motorcycle. The plastic panels feel cheap. The exhaust heat causes the paint on the exhaust covers to discolor. It relies entirely on the badge on the tank. It is a fashion accessory, not a serious tool. Hot leg, Harry says he loves the sound, but the heat is insane. And the service quote for the valve check was $1,200. For a budget bike, no thanks. A new one costs $10,995. That is too much for an air-cooled bike in 2026. If you want a retro scrambler that doesn't cook your legs, the British do it better. This is the best buy of this countdown. Better buy number 1. Triumph Scrambler 900. The Triumph Scrambler 900 is the smart choice. It uses a 900 cubic centimeter parallel twin, making 64 horsepower. Less peak power than the Ducati, but more torque down low where you actually ride. You don't ride a Scrambler at redline, you ride it in the mid-range, and the Triumph pulls harder there. It is liquid-cooled. This is huge. No overheating issues. You can ride it in stop-and-go traffic without cooking your legs. The radiator is discreetly hidden, so it still looks retro. The service intervals are 10,000 miles and they are cheap. It is a low-stress engine that will last forever. It feels substantial. The seat height is accessible. The standing position is natural. The exhaust is high because it's a Scrambler, but the heat shielding is superior to the Ducati. You don't burn your leg. The fit and finish is immaculate. Brushed aluminum, deep paint, quality steel. There is no cheap plastic here. This is the gentleman's Scrambler. It is reliable, beautiful, and capable of light off-road work without overheating or costing a fortune to maintain. It handles gravel roads and fire trails with ease. British Brian writes that he looked at the Ducati, but it felt plastic. The Triumph feels like a real machine. The torque is perfect for city riding, and it looks better dirty. A new one costs $11,495, slightly more, but the lower maintenance costs make it cheaper to own in the long run. Click the next video for more motorcycles. Join the tribe by subscribing to our channel. And what engine makes this sound? Zoom!